Hi, I'm Paul Rennick, and I'm on the percussion faculty here at the University of North Texas.
And I'm Daniel Cook. I'm on the Wind Studies faculty here at the University of North Texas. And we are coming to you today to talk about what it takes to have a successful audition for the ensemble or job of your dreams. So where do we start? What do you look for in an audition?
Well, I think some good advice would be if you think about the audition process and try to think about it from the other perspective, being people like us on the other side of the table, I think whatever you can do to add value to you as a player, whether it be just your skills as a musician, your ability to communicate, your preparedness, all of that just sums up, and basically I think about it as the students trying to win a job. You know, they're trying to win the audition. So our position clearly is we're inclusive. We would like you to win the job. We would like you to be selected for this. And I think we just need validation and verification as far as making the right choice. I often say that one of the biggest parts of our job is to pick the right people for the group. And I think we're very thorough about just interviews and getting to know the people. And so if you play in a way, or if you present yourself in a way that clearly states that you're a valuable person that we would really enjoy having in the group, then I think it's a very easy audition.
I think there's a couple points to underscore in there, and I totally agree with everything. The first is that you have to realize on most audition days that people sitting behind the desk are sitting in that room for hours and hours a day. Like literally, you just got done with juries, right? Which is like week-long for hours a day.
Yeah.
And that everybody that's listening to just wants to hear really good music. Nobody's sitting there hoping that you fall into a trap and that you get cut. Everybody just wants to hear really, really good music. And so everybody's rooting for you. And that might be something to think about when you take an audition, that the folks just really want you to do really well. And the other thing I kind of want to chime in on that is that understanding in an audition, particularly a competitive audition, like trying to make a certain group, that the notes and rhythms and dynamics and even style and inflection to some extent assume that everybody can do already. And the thing that distinguishes you as a player is to show your personality and your decision-making processes and your musical opinions. And the thing that will elevate your playing is not necessarily just playing the thing really accurately, because everybody should be able to do that, but rather that you bring a sense of musicality and character and thoughtful decision-making to that piece that makes it pleasurable and I guess convicting to listen to, that there is conviction about your playing that's enjoyable to respond to as a committee member or jury member or whatever.
Students, just playing off of that, the students often come in, there's a big difference between professionals and students. And I think it can be summed up in that a student plays in a way that asks permission whether you like this piece or not. In other words, they play in a way that I hope you like what I'm doing. And a professional oftentimes comes in and says, here's how it goes. And I think that everybody on the other side of the audition table appreciates when somebody does clearly make musical decisions and they are convicted about what they do and they play it in a way that basically states, this is how this piece goes, just sit there and listen to me play it. Rather than play timidly or sort of kind of ask questions with the way they're playing or hope that they're guessing the way that you'll like it instead of the way that they really believe it. So I would advise that you know the piece or you know the material that you're going to play well enough that you believe in it and you believe the way you're playing it is the way it should be played. And I think everybody on the other side will receive it that way. And if not, it won't really affect your audition, but it'll be something to talk about later in terms of a different way to approach it.
Yeah, the professionalism bit's an interesting thing. I think maybe you can agree with this, that when somebody's doing an audition or a jury, you can pretty much tell within like 30 seconds, or maybe a couple minutes, right, a couple phrases, if this person is going to be a good fit for the group or not. Even sometimes as simple as like a tuning note or a test note or kind of getting your stuff together. It's very obvious right at the very beginning of an audition if this person's going to make a musical statement or if they're just kind of try to hope everything goes okay and get through. Maybe this is kind of mundane, but when you come into the room, command the room. If it's not a blind audition, right? If you can see them, make sure that you present yourself with a degree of presence. And if you're not playing from memory, if you're playing with music, make sure that you're not like unduly fumbling around, or kind of you're a mess trying to get your stuff together. Everything about the audition, from the first step into the room to the end of the actual music, should portray a sense of command and character. And to the idea of the audition material, if you get to select your material, make sure that the material that you select really shows, the cream of the crop of what you can play. If you're a trumpet player out there watching and you have to demonstrate range, and you can't quite squeak out a high D or a high E, please do not play a 2 or 3 octave, like E scale and then squeak out the top. If you have to demonstrate range, you know what I'm trying to say, do a chromatic scale to like a C or a C sharp and then come right back down. Or, the music that you're playing, if you select your excerpts, don't play 3 French slow impressionistic pieces back to back. You might be great at them, and that's awesome, but it's not really showing the diversity and the abilities that you have to offer, and the full scope of your musical content.
Yeah, you should certainly try to highlight your own strengths. Know your playing, and quality always surpasses the attempt. In other words, you're oftentimes credited for the achievement of what you're doing in terms of the quality of it, and not simply the attempt of playing something that's harder. One of the other factors that I don't know if it's that easy to explain, but I definitely have a thing in my mind when I see somebody, is the teachability factor. It sometimes is really apparent if somebody is not teachable, or they're really they receive criticism in a really uncomfortable way. I think that there has to be a relationship. The groups that you're auditioning for, you're a student or a member, and there is a teacher, and you have to have that kind of conversation, and you have to be teachable, and you have to be somebody that works well with others, the other players in the group. You have to be somebody that's willing to grow and willing to improve and accept criticism. And I think that's not that difficult to tell in an audition. I think you can read that in an audition.
A thought on this: to be successful, put yourself in uncomfortable positions. What I mean by that is, take mock auditions, or send tapes or videos of yourself to friends, or do like a mock fake recital for just a couple people. Because the reality is, you've been playing professionally a very long time. I don't think you ever don't get nervous to some degree, or anxious, but the way that you mitigate that is by being comfortable with the fact that you will probably be a little high adrenaline, and embracing those nerves in sort of the positive sense of, I'm excited to perform this repertoire and I'm excited to do well. And the idea of being nervous or being anxious is, in my opinion, a skill that can be developed and conquered to some extent. If you put yourself in those positions where you will be nervous or you will be anxious, you develop the skill of redirecting your mind toward the preparation or the musical performance. So the more that you can prepare, the more that you can be ready to exhibit your skills, and the more that you can demonstrate your skills for the most people possible, the more you do that over time, the more comfortable you get with the fact of this whole live music performance thing that we do.
We hope our insights are helpful to you, and we hope it gives you a better perspective on the audition process in general, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
Likewise, good luck. Hope to see you soon. Thanks very much.